Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Mitchell Osborne. You can find me at mitchellosborne.com, and this is Mindfulness with Mitchell. So if you're out there watching live, let me know if you want where you're watching from. You don't have to. If you're watching in the archive or over on my YouTube channel, thank you so much. And if you are over on YouTube, thanks for subscribing, giving a thumbs up, and clicking that little bell sign so when I do upload a video that you get a notification, because most of the ones I do on Facebook Live through my eCam program, I do send over to YouTube afterwards. So tonight, I don't think we're going to be very long. Tonight is kind of a short lesson and a short mindfulness meditation. But it's funny because I read this article about facing your fear and keeping going. I read it a couple of weeks ago, and I marked it as, okay, I want to talk about this. And just with the heightening of all the coronavirus stuff, I felt like it fits in kind of perfectly. And we're coming to the end of Mercury retrograde, which is recording this on the 8th, Sunday, and retrograde goes direct on Monday the 9th. Some say the 10th, so it's 9th or 10th, but we've been in Mercury retrograde, or Mercury's been in retrograde for about 3 weeks. And if you don't know what that is, that's just where it appears that Mercury is going backwards in the sky as we, Earth, are overtaking it. And oftentimes that just kind of can mess with communications. It can mess with, technology, electronics, and things like that. I'm looking down because I'm trying to go over to my page and see if I can share this, because I like to share it over on my other news feed. So I think I can do that. So cool. Yeah, I think it got shared. So so if you're out there and you want to let me know where you're watching from, that's great. If not, no big deal. And we'll do a little bit of the lesson. And like I said, it's going to be a shorter lesson, mostly good reminders of things to do when there's a lot of fear coming up in your life. And then we'll do a mindfulness meditation based on that, which what we'll do is we'll kind of touch on fear and pull back from it. And it's kind of a neat process. I've done a lot for myself and for clients as well. So if you don't know, I am a psychic and medium, and I use tarot cards. I also do animal communication, and then I do mindfulness transformation coaching, which is kind of what we're focusing on tonight. So welcome if you're watching live or in the archives. And I'm going to post a link because this is where I got the article and inspiration to do this from. And let's see. So I posted that because if you want to dig a little deeper, learn a little bit more, because I'm just pulling a few pieces out of this. So so it's from mindfulness.org, a wonderful resource website, also a hard copy magazine. So hello, everybody. Just going to talk about fear and using mindfulness to kind of conquer it, work through it, lessen it. Hey, Deanne, twice in one day. Woo! So the first thing I want to talk about when fear comes up in your life, and something I say to a lot of clients a lot of times, I say, simply ask yourself this question 1 or 2 times a day. And you can put it in your phone, you can program it, to beep and remind you every day at noon or 5 o'clock. And that is simply just ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? Now, I tell clients, I said, don't answer it. Just simply ask yourself and take a deep breath and say, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And not about something specific, but just in general, just say, what would my life be like if I weren't afraid? How would I act? How would I respond? And just by simply asking that question on a daily basis, or whenever you think of it, like I said, set yourself a reminder, it really can be quite transformative for who you are. And we all have fear, and some of us have lived in horrible fear growing up. Some of us, it shaped our lives. For me, I was a fat kid, always worried about, being called names. I was a closeted kid, fear of being outed or just discovered or something. But fear is a very challenging place to be in. It really is. The first thing, and this is from the article, face fear and keep going. is don't beat yourself up. And this, I know this was one. Hey, Susan from the UK. So, oh, good, Dan. You said you needed to hear that. So, and Susan, I think you're up late. I think it's probably midnight or 1 o'clock. I can't remember. It's 5 hours difference. But don't beat yourself up. This is something that really resonated with me years ago. And I remember I was deep in the Nazarene church, and the thing I would think of is flog myself. I was thinking, and that probably comes from really being connected back to monks and priests. Probably one time a medium, she looked at me, she goes, "Oh God." She said, "You've been a monk and a priest so many times I can't count." And all I remember was thinking, and I said out loud, "I believe you." It's like, that just is so resonating with me. But, it's like flogging yourself for pain penance. And I remember, as a Christian, really trying to live that life. And I remember thinking, it does me no good. It does me no good when I make a mistake to keep beating myself up over it. So when fear comes up, and when you do or react or don't react or run away from something you're fearful of, don't beat yourself up. It was a moment. You made a choice. Done. Let it go. Hey, Heather. Okay, so it's 11:05, and we did our hour ahead. So maybe that's why. Maybe you didn't jump ahead this morning. We jumped ahead because it's normally 6 o'clock right now. So first thing, don't beat yourself up. And then another thing that is very important is taking time out for yourself. Having quality alone time. Spa dates, mindfulness meditation. Just finding just those small windows of opportunity where you can just be and not feel pressure to do anything, or take time out and just give yourself a break from where you're running in fear from things. And then another good one is just doing things differently. If you always drive the same way to work, just break the habit and go a different way one time. Just try something absolutely different. Because when you're on autopilot, just doing the same thing over and over and over, you throw a wrench in there, it's amazing. And lately, hey, Norm. And lately, I wake up and I get to the end of my day and I'm like, nothing was the normal for me. Even I woke up differently. I woke up with the dog puking. My mindfulness meditation was different. I didn't pack my lunch because we were going out to lunch that day. There was a traffic jam, so I took an alternate route. It's like nothing was the same. And when I got to the end of the day, I actually felt like the day was a dream. And maybe it was because I was so focused on, dealing with what was so different than the norm. So doing things differently. And every once in a while, I find myself going, I'm so sick of driving the same way to work. And then I just veer off and go a different way. And it really can make a huge difference in, your life and your focus. And of course, coming back to the fear. And then another good one is celebrate your victories. When you do something good, I have a wonderful office mate, co-supervisor manager, and, I'll come back from a meeting with our director or something, and I'll say, I need to share something with you. I just spoke my truth. And, for a lot of people, it's no problem for them to do that. But someone who's always been afraid of speaking what's on their mind, it really is powerful. Another good thing to do, hey, Kim, is, a couple of UK people here. A couple, a good thing to do is I use like a tarot journal, but also a victory journal. So every time there's some positivity, just make it a victory journal and write it down when you feel victorious, especially over fear. Now, this next one is something that I don't do. I probably would never encourage people to do, but I can see the value in it. And that is making a catalog of your daily fears. Write down what you're fearful of. And I think what it will do is it's kind of like counting calories. It's like at the end of the day, you're like, oh, damn, I didn't realize I ate that much, because you counted every lifesaver. You counted every teaspoon of sugar. And all of a sudden you realize how it all ends up or adds up. And then with that, you can really see where you're just going around, dodging everything that's fearful. But a great exercise, to help kind of understand your anxiety or anxious feelings and how to move beyond that. And then this is what we're going to do in a little bit. This will be our mindfulness meditation. But practice a touch and let go in everyday life. And that is really like you bring up the fear, or you're facing a fear, and just in your mind, you step towards it, you touch it, you kind of embody it just a little bit, And all of a sudden, if it gets overwhelming, you back up and then you can come back in again. So it's literally just like bringing the fear up, seeing how that feels in your body. And in hypnotherapy, we call it the felt sense, from the shoulders to the waistline. So it's that core part of your body where most of the main chakras of the base chakra up to the throat are, and just seeing how it feels. Because, like interval training, like running, if you push yourself a little bit, that's how you increase your fitness level. And it's not that you want to make it so you're not feel free or you're becoming numb to it, but it's a practice of that, not letting it control you quite as much. And we'll do that in just a little bit. We're just going to practice that. It'll be a short meditation. And then be curious about your fear. The way I talk about this is, if an emotion comes up, if some anger, some frustration, any fear, anything like that comes up, invite it in for tea. If all of a sudden I get pissed off at somebody, I'm like, what is that about? And I pause and I think, man, that just came up. So I invite that anger, that being pissed off in, and I just take a couple deep breaths and I'm like, what is this about? Where did this stem from? And I just ask questions and I'm just curiouser and curiouser about it. Hello, Tamara. How are you? Kim said, every time I feel fear, I think of the time before I felt it and realize I got through it. And before that really works. That's beautiful. Beautiful, Kim. Thank you for sharing. And hey, Linda. Hello. How are you? So be curious about it, because sometimes, raise your hand if you're one of those that you either taught indirectly or they told you, stuff your fears, don't cry, don't get angry, keep your emotions down. By stuffing all that stuff, it's just going to build up one day and explode. It's like holding the balloon underwater. Eventually your arms are going to tire and it's going to pop up. So when you address it, they usually dissipate. They usually, wash away. And that's, again, what we're going to do here at the end. And you'll be able to do that with your own kind of fear, whatever that may be. So be thinking about, okay, what fear, you don't have to pick one specific one, but think of like what fear you've got going on. What do you want to worry about? And then one of my favorites, never forget humor. And I'm a huge fan of humor. I know it does the body good like a medicine. But I am a big fan because humor and laughter is just such good high vibration. So definitely don't underestimate it. Kim said, be thankful for it, invite it in, and thank it. Yes, it does. It absolutely, it can. I won't say 99.9% of the time it's going to dissipate. It's going to go away. And again, that's the practice that we're going to do in a little bit. Just practicing inviting it in, connecting with it, maybe even embodying it. But yeah, so don't forget humor. Put on something that makes you laugh. For me, Ab Fab, and you UK Brit people, Ab Fab is one of those shows I can watch over and over. Will and Grace, I can watch it over and over again. And there's not a lot of TV shows or movies I watched more than once, but those are definitely two. Big Bang Theory is another one. It was so funny. Recently I had a client who dealt with some very tragic stuff, the death of an infant and the crippling of a partner. And it was interesting because they'd been through, they're in therapy, they're doing like quite a lot, we were connecting. And the interesting thing is, a few times throughout, they cracked some jokes and they laughed about things. And we're talking about some heavy, heavy stuff. And right as we left, they cracked another joke about something. And I just turned to them. I said, I love that you laugh, that you can still laugh about this in the midst of this. That tells me you're in a place of healing. That tells me you honor how powerful humor and laughter can be, even in the most tragic events. And let me tell you what it was. I'm not a parent, but let me tell you what, it was a very tragic, thing. Yes, the humor is powerful. And, there's, I will be honest with you, I've tried, laughter yoga and, was not for me. I completely get the value in it. And the instructor was amazing, but it felt forced. And I did laugh, but then it felt kind of forced and contrived, but I completely understand why and how it works. And I can imagine if I, did that on a more regular basis, or I'll put it this way. If I wasn't someone who found laughter all the time, then I probably would do it on a regular basis and be fine, but I can't laugh at anything. I'll never forget coming back from Meter Studio, my first ever time going. I came home, I had the flu, I'm laying in bed, and I started laughing at myself because I thought, oh my God, you look so pathetic. And I was like almost high because it was such an amazing event. But my body ached, but I just felt myself laughing about it. And of course, it felt so much better. Linda said, oh, Carol Burnett shows always get me I was a huge fan of Carol Burnett, Donnie and Marie, Captain and Tennille, Sonny and Cher, all those comedy specials. They were huge for me. It's probably what molded me into the actor that I was. And I ended up owning an improv theater for 10 years. In case you guys don't know that, we did every Friday night we did, like Whose Line Is It Anyway? So there was a huge amount. So laughter is in me. And it was always my way of deflecting the bullies. If someone called me fat, I would make a joke. If someone called me faggot, I would make a joke. So there was a lot. It was the way I deflected things and dealt with things. Kim said, always look in the mirror. And I pull faces at yourself. Yeah, like pull on your face. I always end up doing a chicken dance and everything. Beautiful. You're a light and your smile brightens up the room. Positive energy uses from us. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Linda. So yeah. And then probably one of the biggest ones that I know I have the hardest time doing this, as probably many of you do, ask for help. Do I have to say anything more? I am the type, my personality is often, I won't set it in stone, it's often that I like to work out my stuff internally, and then oftentimes I share it with the world, in videos like this. But I usually work it out before I share it because I want to like have it, at least the process on the way of healing and getting done. But I've learned how to ask for help. And somebody taught me, less a long time ago. I was in a bookstore and this gracious man, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this book. I may get it one day. He says, oh, let's take it. I said, no, I can't take it. He said, no, seriously, I'm giving it to you as a gift. Oh, no, I can't take it. And that was me not believing I'm worthy, not believing I'm deserving of a free book, blah, blah, blah. And finally he says, can I teach you a little lesson? And I'm like, okay, sure. And I was like, 21 years old. And he said, if you don't take this book, you're denying me the opportunity to help you. So it's basically like I'm giving you a gift and you're telling me I don't want it. It's not worth it. It's like me handing you a wrapped gift and you setting it on a shelf and never opening it. Makes me feel bad because I offered it and you didn't accept it. So I really learned that not only by me accepting a gift, I'm giving someone the blessing of giving it. And that goes for compliments. That's another one where someone, I now, and it's so funny, someone will say, oh my gosh, you look really nice today. And I start talking, I say, oh, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Oh, that was a great class you taught. Yeah, well, anyway. And I said, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, I catch myself still. And like I said, a lot of it is because not believing I'm worthy, not believing I'm deserving of the compliment, of the hard work I put in. So yeah. So, ask for help, allow that help to come to you. So Kim said, I talk to my dogs and they know when I'm feeling anxious and they cuddle up and make a fuss of me. Can't beat our furry friends. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and you can probably hear my voice a little groggy. Yesterday I had a long day of clients and I don't have allergies, but when there's enough stuff in the air to bother my eyes and scratchy throat, I know I can only imagine those around me suffering who do have allergies to stuff going on in the air. Cause yeah, it's like, you can hear the raspiness in here. But, yes, Linda, it is hard to ask for help. But again, like I just said, sometimes you're denying someone else a blessing to help you. And I think it goes back to our feeling worthy and deserving of help, of the money, of the time, of the gift, of whatever it is. So your practice saying compliments, I think them, but forget to say them. That's beautiful, Tamara. And I have to practice that as well. And here's why I think I have to practice saying it. Because I don't necessarily want compliments. So therefore, I don't do it for other people. And if you think of the 5 love languages, if you've never heard of the 5 love languages, go and research that. Chapman is the last name of the author. You can go online, you can read it, you can understand it in a heartbeat, but I do recommend getting the book. It's not a very big book. But one of the 5 love languages is words of encouragement. And anytime someone would say, oh, you look wonderful. I will never forget my mom said, you look so nice today. I said, don't patronize me. I know what I look like. I'm fat. And it's like I would not even take the compliment. For me, it's quality time is the biggest one. I'd probably say physical touch is second, but gift giving, not so much. That feels awkward to me. I've learned how to accept it. Acts of service. That's my husband. He cooks dinner. He does things for me. I've had to learn how to do those for him because that's his love language. And let's see, acts of service, words of encouragement, gift giving, quality time. What was the other one? I think that's all 5. Anyway, go check it out if you've never, read or heard about those. So I'm going to shift gears and move into the mindfulness meditation. And what we're going to do, if you want to stay and participate, is I'm going to put the screen up so you can't see me. And I'm just going to get you quiet. Hey, Kay. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Linda, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it was an eye-opener for me. It really was. It really, really was an eye-opener because I was like, oh, my heart won't make people feel, I don't like to make people feel bad. I'm a Pisces. I will be uncomfortable myself just so I don't make somebody else uncomfortable. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get you quiet, get you breathing a little bit, get you relaxed. And then I'm just going to have you focus on a fear or just fear itself. Have you feel it? And maybe even kind of embody it a little bit, and then kind of bring you out of it. So it's not going to be a very long mindfulness meditation, and it may be an uncomfortable one, but I'll coach you along because if it gets too much, I'll remind you to just pull back and, kind of look at it as the third person kind of view. So anybody have any questions before I dive into this? And like I said, I'll probably be just about an 8. I thought we'd be a short night tonight, but it's already 22 after. So probably about an 8 or 10 minute meditation. Deanne says, I want to take this self-help class, but I would max my credit card because I'm still working. But I didn't fear anything I would jump on it. Beautiful. Capricorn, yay, Linda. Yay, Deanne, you're Pisces too. Yeah, that book is amazing. And if you have children, get that book for your kids because I grew up feeling unloved. Because my mom would make breakfast for us every morning and then she would run off to work. I wanted her to turn around and sit down and have breakfast with me. I wanted her to spend that quality time with me. But I finally realized years later, every morning she made me breakfast. She was showing me that she loved me. My dad was providing, so it was more like gift giving in a sort of way. But yeah, so quality time was my thing. But yeah, it definitely works for the kids as well and coworkers. You can find out how your coworkers like to know that you love them and care about them. So, all right, you guys, let's dive into some mindfulness meditation. If you want to stay, that would be wonderful. Let me see where is that. Nope, that's not the one I want. There we go. So there is my screen. That way you don't have to look at me. So I want to encourage you to just find yourself in a very comfortable place. And if you can, allow your eyes to close, but only if it's safe. And just bring your awareness to your breath. And all I mean by that is just notice the rise and fall of your chest and abdominal area. And as you notice the rise and fall of your chest and abdominal area, you are literally practicing mindfulness at its most simplest form. Just following the breath in and out. And as you do, just pay attention to any feelings and sensations and emotions that come up in a very non-judgmental, loving, kind, caring way. And just allow that breath into the body and out. And each time you inhale, I want you to just think or repeat in your mind the word relax. So that every time you take a breath in, you're thinking and repeating in your mind the word relax. And as you repeat that word relax, just give your permission to your entire body to relax. Feeling all the muscles, the ligaments, and the tendons relaxing. Now, every time you exhale, I want you to think or repeat in your mind the words release and let go. And as the air leaves your body, and as you repeat those words, release and let go, it's almost as if you're giving your entire body permission to release any discomfort, to let go of anything that's not serving you for your highest and best, right here, right now. Now practice just a couple more breaths. Inhale, relax. Exhale, release and let go. And over the next couple breaths, just allow the words to fade away. And follow the breath in and out, the rise and fall of your chest and abdominal area. And now I want you to just out in the distance in your mind's eye, I want you to bring about something that you're fearful of. Maybe it's transitioning to a new job. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a conversation you have to have. Maybe it's over all the craziness over coronavirus, whatever it may be. Just pick one thing or just fear itself. And as you focus on it, I want you to gently take some steps forward towards it, slowly, carefully. Perhaps you're floating, perhaps you're drifting. And if at any moment it feels uncomfortable, you can stop where you are. You can even move back away from it from a distance. You might even break it down in smaller pieces. If it feels uncomfortable, you can dull the image. But as you move closer, allow the images and the colors to become a little more bright and intense. And just kind of feel the fear. Feel the fear within your body. Perhaps in your mind with the thoughts about it. And once again, if it becomes a little too intense or uncomfortable, you can just back away from it. You can dull the image and colors and vibrancy down. You can even move back to a third party, almost like watching yourself watch the fear. And because we're working in a group, take charge of your own moving forward or moving back. And if you move forward and then you move back because it feels a little too intense, maybe try stepping forward again, almost like you're easing into a very chilly swimming pool as your body adjusts to the temperature. And finally, if you feel comfortable, step into, become, or perhaps just touch the fear. Whether it's portraying itself as a person, an image, or just an energy, maybe a cloud or a color, maybe just a thought. And as you touch or feel or step into that fear, if it gets uncomfortable, you can back out. You can dull the image and brightness down. And just experience it for a few more seconds. And if you move back and you feel comfortable moving it again, acclimating and adjusting to it, that's okay. Take charge and control on your own. And while you're there, whether you're part of the fear, witnessing it, or at a distance, to the best of your ability, just thank that fear, which is part of you. Thank it for being there. Thank it for delivering whatever messages, information that it may be delivering. With as much love and gratitude as you can, just thank that fear for being part of who you are. Perhaps it was a protector of you in the past and still may be. Perhaps it was a lie that you attached to because it felt familiar. whatever it is, just allow it to be right here, right now. Now, as you start to take some fuller, deeper breaths in, carefully, gently, and lovingly, with each deep breath, back yourself out and away from that fear. With love, with kindness, with compassion, move yourself back and away. And as you take fuller, deeper breaths in, feel yourself coming back more and more into your body, feeling the weight of your arms and legs, feeling your breath, bringing your attention and awareness right back to your chest and abdominal area, following the breath in, following the breath out. Next time you exhale, just wiggle your toes just a little bit. Next time you exhale, wiggle your fingers, maybe rotate your wrists and ankles. And the next time you exhale, just allow your eyes to open whenever they feel comfortable, bringing yourself back into the present moment. Fully aware and present, feeling light, feeling lifted, full of gratitude and thanks for whatever you experienced as we got connected to that fear that might have been in our lives. So guys, let me know if you're still there and you made it back all right. I just want to make sure nobody's still hanging out in La La Land. For those of you who made it through, thanks for joining me. If you had to head out, I understand. Hopefully you can come back and visit this mindfulness meditation on a regular basis. It'll be saved over on my YouTube channel, and you can find it there. So, Kay, you said great. Thank you. Kay, thanks for showing up. Linda, Dan, Kim, who else was here? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a little bit. If you have any questions, post them now, because it takes about 30, 40 seconds for those questions to show up where I can see them. And I'm going to be heading out in about the next minute or so. So thank you, thank you. I will not have any Sunday nights for the next 2 weeks because I'm going on vacation. You are welcome, Linda. Going on a vacation. And yeah. So thank you for showing up and hanging out. If you're popping in and popping out, we just got done with the mindfulness meditation, kind of focusing on fear. You can go back and watch from the beginning. We started the mindfulness meditation about 22 minutes in. So when you see the green screen, you know you're there. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you, Linda. I feel good. It's just a little clog and a little strain there. So, but yeah, and also it doesn't help that I teach group fitness, so I'm having to shout and scream. So my voice is a little tired. That's all. But I thank you. I appreciate it. And someone said coconut, lemon, and honey. So hello, Alice. I just see you now. So Alice, you'll have to go back and watch from the beginning unless you were there silently and I didn't see you. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Namaste. Talk to you soon. We'll do this again on the 29th with Animal Communications because I'm gone for the next 2 Sunday nights. Namaste. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.